Hello everybody. I don't know how I'm going to frame this video and I don't know where it's going to end up, but I've been trying to come to terms with past antisocial behavior of when I was a teenager, and I don't think it's healthy to be living in the past of thinking over and over again of how you grew up in middle school and not moving on when you're in your 30s. But I was isolated for so long that I feel when certain topics come up, the only framework and experience I have is stories from when I was much younger and not doing proper things. And to kind of move on from pain and trauma, and probably not even as much of it as would cause this adverse of a reaction to a normal person, but I feel like I haven't had much of a present or a future, and I've kind of been reliving things over and over again in my head, kind of reverse engineering people that I've met and interacted with in the past, including family members, friends, and just people that have met my acquaintance, and just trying to think about what they were thinking, how they got to where they were, and almost trying to reverse engineer everyone's personality and see if there's what's positive and what's negative, and to try to include that into my own, the positive, and take away the negative. Because I feel like I've never really had many interests and much of a personality, and I've had some interests that I was considering getting into when I was younger, and I pussyfooted around and I didn't pull the trigger on it. Time went by, and I'm getting around to them now and checking off some boxes and exploring different things. The YouTube channel is one of them. But I'm constantly searching for what amount of good and what amount of bad is a balanced person, and what amount of extroversion I can handle without burning out and saying something completely ridiculous and publicly humiliating myself. I feel like if you're too nice, people will take advantage of you. If you're too harsh, you people will pretty well still take advantage of you in different ways, but they won't want to be around you as much. And I don't know where the middle is. The middle seems to be the different in different groups with different individuals. I don't really know how to feel out situations. But when I was younger, in middle school, I did have a troubled childhood, and I was basically hanging around for like people who were much older than me in some cases and not doing the right things. And even when I was alone, I was doing very negative things. Many reasons and excuses for them. And then I kind of spent a lot of time feeling guilty and remorseful and drinking to forget both the poor decisions I made and the poor things that I've done, and also the poor decisions my father made and things that people did to me that adversely affected me as well. And I feel on top of that, because I get burnt out easy, and I need to mask, and I need to hide stimming and things with the spectrum and other things like that, learning slow. not only am I kind of like monotone, but I have these adverse negative experiences which seem to have formed most of my personality. And because I've not really had much of a present or future or any real goals or interests that I've pulled the trigger on and got involved with, I don't have much social skills or much of even, I'm always poker faced, and I feel like if someone asks me a question, I have these very hyper centered focuses that I basically just formed my opinions and my stances and my interests on things I've seen online. Even in school, I would learn mostly from online, and I would study Wikipedia articles for 5 hours in a day, and I have very hyper focused knowledge on a few things, and none of them add up. They're very unique to me, going down rabbit holes online and kind of not really sharing them or sharpening up the opinions of them with anybody. And I don't know how to break that cycle. Obviously, it's to get out more, but when I get out more, I guess post-COVID, it's harder to meet people. So I'm kind of stuck in this, and I have memories that are very negative, and I'm not creating new positive ones. And it almost shows a hatred on my face that's standoffish. People are very light nowadays. Table hopping type, very outgoing, extroverted people. And I like just sitting by a creek and just looking at ducks. I don't like doing anything, really. I like complete calmness and predictability and comfort, basically. And it's to get out of your comfort zone. But for me to get out of my comfort zone, every time I get out of my comfort zone, I have so much stress that I'm flapping my arms like a bird, and I'm blurting out things to myself, like talking to myself like a person is with me, doing things that would make me look insane, and very regimented days where there's no flexibility and I'm very stiff. So I have very stiff, regimented days, negative memories, not much future. And my family looks after me, and I feel like I'm a burden, and I get little shots every now and again from my family, like, hey, you gotta do better, you gotta pull your weight. And I hear them loud and clear, and I'm trying. And it's very hard to do. There's been no... Every time I think about doing something, there's always an obstacle that's too big for me. And I'm eventually going to have to pick some sort of path, even with big obstacles, and just leap for it. But there's so much planning that goes into such little things. Something like quitting a job and going to school, I feel so scared of the uncertainty in that, and that I would hurt the feelings of my employer, and then I can't go back, burn a bridge. I'm caught between in this situation, knowing your limits and playing within it, or wanting to jump higher to impress people or to earn my respect. And I want to earn my respect, but I'm afraid. I don't know what I'm doing. Every time I take on more, something falls out of my life that's positive. So if I take on something that's a level up and it's going to be positive, something else falls out, it becomes two more, and then I can't do another thing properly or on time. I feel like I've peaked. I feel like I've plateaued. I'm going to keep striving. I'm going to keep bearing new crosses, so to speak. I really want this channel to work out just so I have some sort of income stream. I don't think it will. It doesn't even make sense. There's no business model for this channel. Not asking for charity and pity when I'm saying that. I don't want it to come off that way either. But if I do this channel, I want some real world skills. I want some humility. I want to take a course. I want to actually be functional as an adult, alone, as an individual. I haven't eaten all day. I feel like when I'm on the go, I can't eat. The more I work, the more my appetite goes down. I don't know what's with that. It's weird. I'm definitely a burden on my family. But I'm going to keep trying, and I've basically filmed 4 of these videos, and they're all saying the same thing in different ways. I'm going to post all of them and space them apart, and it's going to come across as really whiny. And it is. But whatever, man. Keep trying. I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep grinding. I'm getting out. I'm working. I'm looking into adult upgrading courses. I'm getting along with my family. I don't have any friends, but I have acquaintances. They're nice. I'm nice to them. Very alone. I don't know how to fix that. It would be nice to have a dog. Can't have a dog right now. Working too much for the dog. Can't pay attention to the dog. Don't have a yard. Okay. So